Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're swapping out the usual travel guides for something a little different, something raw, vibrant, and bursting with stories. We're going on a journey through the streets of Africa, but not to see the landmarks you might find in a brochure. We're here to discover the continent's beating heart, painted right onto its walls. This is a journey through Africa's most vibrant street art. When many people think of Africa, they might picture vast savannas or ancient pyramids, and while those are incredible, there's a modern, dynamic, an urban Africa that's telling its own story, one spray can and paintbrush at a time. I've always been fascinated by how art can transform a space, how it can give a voice to the voiceless. And a few years ago, I decided to pack my bags and see it for myself. My first stop, the city that many call the street art capital of Africa, Johannesburg, South Africa. Touching down in Joburg, the energy is electric. It's a city of contrasts, of history, and of immense creativity. I headed straight for the Mabening precinct, a once neglected area that's been completely revitalized, largely thanks to art. Walking through these streets is like stepping into an open-air gallery. Every corner you turn, there's a new masterpiece. I remember this one massive mural of a young girl with constellations in her hair, her eyes looking towards the future. It was so powerful. It wasn't just a pretty picture. It was a statement of hope and resilience. I met a local artist named SBU who was working on a piece. He told me, "Here, our walls talk. They tell stories of our past, our struggles with apartheid, but they also scream about our future." He explained how street art became a form of protest, a way to reclaim public spaces and challenge the narrative. In neighborhoods like Soweto, murals depicting Nelson Mandela and other freedom fighters are more than just portraits. They're living monuments, constant reminders of the fight for equality. Spending a week in Joburg, I realized this art wasn't just decoration. It was the city's soul, written in bold, beautiful colors for the entire world to see. From the urban jungle of Johannesburg, my journey took me north to the bustling, historic city of Dakar in Senegal. The vibe here was completely different. The salty air from the Atlantic Ocean mixed with the smell of spices and, of course, fresh paint. Dakar is famous for its annual Biennale, a major contemporary art exhibition, and that creative spirit spills out into every alley and boulevard. The street art scene in Dakar is a fusion of traditional Senegalese motifs and modern graffiti styles. ULLC walls covered in geometric patterns and vibrant symbols that echo the country's rich textile traditions, right next to hyper-realistic portraits and bold, graphic lettering. I was completely captivated. It's a visual conversation between the old and the new. One day, I was wandering through the Medina neighborhood, a labyrinth of narrow streets, when I stumbled upon a crew of artists painting a huge wall. It was a collaborative piece, a kaleidoscope of faces, animals, and abstract shapes. I got to talking with one of the painters, a young woman named Aida. She told me that for them, street art is about settle, a Wolof concept that means to make clean or to make proper. It's about taking pride in your community and making it beautiful. They weren't just painting walls. They were strengthening community bonds, teaching kids to paint, and turning rundown areas into places of inspiration. In Dakar, I learned that street art is an act of love for your home. Next, I flew across the continent to a place I dreamed of visiting, Cairo, Egypt. This is a city of ancient wonders, but its modern history is just as compelling, and it's written all over its walls. The street art scene in Cairo exploded during the 2011 revolution. The streets around Tahrir Square became a canvas for dissent, a real-time documentary of a country in upheaval. Walking down Mohammed Mahmoud Street was a surreal experience. It's often called the Street of the Martyr's Eyes. The walls were, and in some ways still are, covered in murals commemorating those who lost their lives during the revolution. There were powerful stencils, elaborate portraits, and messages of defiance. Even though many of these pieces have since been painted over by the authorities, the ghost of them remains. You can feel the history. I met a photographer who had documented the art from the beginning. He showed me pictures of incredible murals that were gone now. He said, "The walls are a battleground. The government paints them white, and the next day, a new piece appears. It's a constant dialogue, a fight to keep the memory alive. He explained that the art became a way for people to process their grief, their anger, and their hopes for a new Egypt. It was a raw, visceral, and often temporary form of expression. In Cairo, the street art felt less like decoration and more like a scar, a beautiful, painful reminder of a pivotal moment in history. After the intensity of Cairo, my final stop felt like stepping into another world. I traveled to the small village of Eriad on the Tunisian island of Gerba. This wasn't a sprawling metropolis, but a quiet, ancient village with whitewashed walls and blue doors. But in 2014, something amazing happened here. Over 150 artists from around the world were invited to transform the village into an open-air museum called Gerba. Walking through Eriad is magical. You'll be strolling down a silent, sun-drenched alley and suddenly come face to face with a breathtaking piece of art. A giant, colorful octopus sprawling across a wall, a whimsical character peeking out from a doorway, an intricate Arabic calligraphy piece that seems to dance in the sunlight. The art isn't loud or aggressive. It's integrated seamlessly into the fabric of the village. I spoke with an elderly shop owner who had a beautiful mural painted on the side of his building. At first, he was skeptical. He told me, "We have lived here the same way for hundreds of years. I didn't understand why these people wanted to paint on our homes." But then, he smiled. "Now, I see the children pointing and laughing. I see people from all over the world coming here, smiling." The art brought new life. It respects our home, but it also shares it with the world. In Gerbahood, I saw how street art can be a gentle bridge between cultures, a quiet conversation between tradition and modernity. It was a perfect, peaceful end to my journey. From Johannesburg's political statements to Dakar's community pride, from Cairo's revolutionary cries to Gerbahood's poetic beauty, the street art of Africa is as diverse and complex as the continent itself. It's a history book, a political manifesto, a love letter, and a vision for the future, all at once. It shatters stereotypes and shows the world a contemporary, creative, and incredibly resilient Africa. This journey completely changed the way I see art and the way I see Africa. It's a reminder that some of the world's most profound galleries don't have entry fees or quiet, hushed halls. They're out in the open, on the streets, for everyone to experience. It's a living, breathing art form that is constantly evolving. So next time you travel, I encourage you to look beyond the typical tourist spots. Take a walk, get a little lost, and pay attention to the walls. You might just find the true story of the city written there. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey today. I hope it inspired you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's the most powerful piece of street art you've ever seen? Let me know below. Until next time, stay curious.